Welcome guys to the third installment of the beginner series. In the last video, we discussed whatever you were seeing here on the chart, candlesticks, time frame, the price, as well as the time on the x-axis. Now let's discuss some drawing tools that will be helpful for you in your charting. Let's remove this watch list first and expand the chart here. So in the last video, I had already drawn out this horizontal line and I had showed how this was a support and a resistance while explaining the meaning of those terms. To draw a horizontal line, go here, then you pick up the line and you will draw that to mark out important levels where price sees some form of sensitivity. So you can see this level I just marked out, 155 level. In the future videos, you will learn it's called a zone. And the reason is that price is constantly reacting to this level. So you can see price came to this level, got rejected. So this acted as a resistance. When I say got rejected, it means price went down after touching a level. Acted as a resistance again on the 15th of Feb. Acted as a resistance again on 6th of March. Acted as a resistance back in the day in October, right? Acted as a support all the way in April and acted as support all the way in Jan. You can see that's a price level where price always sees some form of reaction. And those are the levels you want to mark out with horizontal lines. The next one we'll see is trend lines. Trend lines are usually used to, as the name suggests, mark out a trend, which means a sequence of higher highs and higher lows. It's very commonly used in trading and technical analysis. I don't use it personally as much, but just wanted to share it with you guys in case you prefer them. So the way you draw it is you will connect these higher lows here. So something like this, and voila. You can see this trend right here is being marked by this line. It's being defined by it. Once it breaks, it retests and bam, it goes lower. We can also draw a downtrend line. So this was an uptrend line because the trend is going up. Downtrend line would connect the highs, something like that. Once these two highs were made, we could draw this trend line and then price came back and got rejected from this trend line a couple of times. Only when we finally broke this trend line did we have a move up. So this is how a trend line is used and a lot of technical analysis people use it. Again, I personally don't use it as much, but I know it can be useful, which is why I'm sharing it with you here. Next drawing tool, which I use quite a bit, is boxes. So my entire system is based on them. So boxes are usually drawn between the horizontal lines in order to define an area of contraction. So something like this would be a box. It's just a sideways area of contraction. Now, if you don't understand why this is a box, let me draw the horizontal lines we had again. This area, and we had this area. So you can see price contracted in this region for a while before it expanded lower. If you want to make a bigger box, like something like this, I go into detail in the Price Action Pro tutorials about boxes and how to use them completely. So if you don't get this right now, don't worry about it. So this area, you can see from December 21 all the way to January of 2022, price in Apple did not really go anywhere. It just went into a sideways consolidation. And for this consolidation, we define it using boxes. So that's what the boxes are useful for. And once we break out of this consolidation, you can see price move directionally, and that's called an expansion. So those are the main drawing tools that we'll need in our journey. Now let's talk about some indicators. I know most of the guys come in trading thinking there's a magic indicator that will solve all their problems. That's usually not the case. I will share the indicators that I use and then you can see if that works for you or not. So the first one is moving average. So I use two kinds of moving averages. I use 9 and 50. The way you change the setting is you go here in the settings, go to input, and you will change the length. This one is 9, so it's perfect for me. The next one, I will change it to 50. And I will change the color to yellow. So now you have these moving averages, and what the moving average basically means, it just shows, it's a line showing the average price of the last 9 days in case of a 9-day moving average and 50 days in case of a 50-day moving average. Now, if you change it from daily to hourly charts, it will show you the average price of the last 9 hours rather than 9 days. Okay, so the moving average depends on the time frame you're trading it. So let's go back. So this is the indicator I use quite a bit. Obviously, there's a tutorial on it that will go in depth about it. But put simply, it just shows the average price of the last 9 days. If the average price of the last 50 days is rising, then you can assume that the stock is in a medium-term uptrend. Okay, that's how I use these moving averages. Only other indicator that I use is called Squeeze Pro. You can have it on your chart is this one. Now the settings here, the one that I have are a bit different just because I am blue-green colorblind. Like I have a difficulty figuring that out, which is why my settings are in the Gold Archives channel. I can point it out to. So this Gold Archives channel here, that will have my settings as well as all the other useful information from professors as well as captains for you to check out. These are my Squeeze Pro settings right here. Let's go back. So change your settings there accordingly. But what these different dots on the bottom tell you is how tight the contraction in the stock is. And based on how tight it is, how big the expansion will be. Again, if you don't completely understand it, that's fine. In the Price Action Pro, I have a fully dedicated tutorial on Squeeze Pro. So you will be fine. Just, you see, I'm trying to desensitize you to the terms rather than throwing it all at you later in the course. All right, for now, that's it for the beginner series, guys. See you in the trading basics.